Hello and a really big warm welcome to this presentation from the Urban Penguin. My name is Andrew Mallard, and in today's video we're going to take a look at how we can use Vim and some of the advanced features. We'll look at some code, and maybe you want to add a for loop to the code. Now that also means you're probably going to need to indent the existing codes, and we'll look at 3 ways that you can use to indent the code really easily within your Vim text editor. Come on, let's find that command line. And look at this, a really big warm welcome to the Pixel Playground. And we can go through and open up an existing bash script that I have. So let's go through and open up the script. Now here we can go through and things like checking for a package name. But if I want to provide multiple packages, then we need to loop round to check each one of those packages. So I might be then tempted to add in my for loop. Now, although in Bash, syntactically, we don't need to indent within loops or blocked statements, it's going to make the code more readable. And in that way, this is where programmatically we can do some clever things within Vim. So for the moment, I can go through and add in my for loop. So obviously we're using the keyword for, and I can go through and specify a variable to populate. And I can go through and put, let's say, package name in. And then to populate this, we can read from our list of arguments through $ and @. So we're reading in an array of elements, and we do our normal opening of the loop with a semicolon and do. So this is good. The next step is really simple, and you probably already know this in Vim anyway, that I need to move to the end of the document to close the do block. So I can use Shift and uppercase G to move to the end, and then just type done. As I say, that's the really simple part. But we can see then that done is in line with the closing if statement. And this is where, even though it's syntactically correct, it doesn't read terribly well if we don't indent. Now, there are really 3 different ways that we can do this. I'm just going to save my changes so far, so keeping the for and done in my document. And the first way is probably the easiest way, but not so easy on a longer document. If I move back up to where I need to start my indenting, so if we can locate the for, so then on the line after for, this is where my indenting should start, I can then use Shift and V for Victor, and then just start arrowing down, and we can kind of graphically select with the visual highlighter the lines that we want indenting, and I can just use then the greater than symbol to indent. Now we can see then that all of this has worked. The only thing I'm not too happy with is the indent level, and it's just using the default because I haven't set the indent level. However, that's something that we can adjust. But with this then done and dusted, we've seen then that we can graphically select our lines and indent them. But on a longer script, this could be more difficult. Let's just undo this with the U. And we're going to go through and look at making some changes now. On a longer script, we might prefer, instead of selecting the lines, is to select the line numbers that we want to indent. So I'm going to use an escape and colon, set number. That will turn the line numberings on. But I'm also going to do the SW equals 2, the shift width equals 2. With this, we are setting the indent level, and we're setting our indent level to be 2 spaces. So with this, we're not going to move as far when we indent. With that done, I just hit enter. I can go back to my colon prompt, and at my colon prompt, so the bottom left of the screen, you can see that I'm selecting line 13 through to line 41, so 13, 41. They're the lines that I want indented, and we're going to use a normal indent. We could do a left indent, we could do a right indent. We just want to indent to the indent level, and we put then the double greater than symbol to specify that we want to increase the indent. And you can see now that we have implemented that indent, and from line 13 through to 41, and the shift width equals 2 is now coming into play. So this is now starting to get really good. But again, there could be a couple of problems with this. On a longer document, we might not be able to see all of the numbers on one page. And also, if you're trying to instruct people what to do, their line numbering might not be exactly the same as your numbering, as they might have added in extra comments or extra clear lines for readability. So again, I can undo, and I can then use escape and up arrow key to get back to my previous EX command, so bottom left-hand side of the screen. And I can now search for a regular expression. So I can search for lines beginning with, so the caret or the hat symbol, lines beginning with 4, and I put the regular expression inside of my forward slashes. That's going to translate through to a number. So we're really just replacing the numbers with a regular expression. And then, of course, we want to indent until we find done. So we put then our forward slash caret done forward slash, hit the big enter key, and look to see what's going to happen. But we are indenting from 4 up to and including done. So as we then indent, we can see, well, that really hasn't worked. And it might put you off using regular expressions, but we can cleverly work around this. Let's just undo this again with the U to undo. Hit escape, and we can use our up arrow key to move back to the last EX command. And I say cleverly, all we need to do is add one line after 4. So this is now not part of our regular expression, but before the comma. So this is from the line that we want to stop, so 4 plus 1, until done minus 1, the line after 4 and the line before done. And now this is absolutely perfect. So we've been able to see 3 different ways that we can indent multiple lines within Vim. We can use Shift and V to graphically select our lines. We can use the line numbers, or we can go through and use regular expressions. And perhaps with our regular expressions, we need to go through then and add in a line and remove a line from the finishing line.
All that is left to say is thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this, then you are probably sadder than I first thought. For more of this drivel, please subscribe, like and comment to @TheUrbanPenguin.